Hi everyone, my name is Meral Eric and I'm here today with Shahab from Liquid Death. Shahab, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would love to get started by just asking you, how did all of this start for you? How did you get into Web3? How did you start down the path and where has that journey taken you?
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have similar paths to Web3, but around 2020, 2014 is when I first learned about crypto. I bought my first Bitcoin, um, went deep into DeFi and the communities, made a lot of money, six figures, and then followed by 2016 where I lost a lot of money. And I think around that time was when I learned something about collective earning and collective losing, where that concept of community came together, because I lost a lot of money, but so did a lot of other people I was interacting with, and it didn't hurt as much. And as a marketer, I really fell in love with the concept of community building and being one. And from there, 2017, I went fully into Web3. I worked with a lot of prominent projects, and here we are.
Amazing. And how long have you been at Liquid Death for?
Almost 2 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I think you have this unique perspective because you're a true crypto native and now you've entered the side where you're also helping and consulting brands. I'm curious to hear your perspective. Where is Web3 going in the next 2 to 5 years?
I was just having a conversation with someone right now too. Um, with the emergence of AI, augmented reality, what Apple's doing, what Microsoft's doing, and then also with what Elon Musk is working on with Neuralink, I think in about 5 to 10 years we're at a time where people don't leave their homes. They sit in a chair for about 20 hours a day. They're doing their schooling, they're doing their work, and all within the metaverse. When they do leave, everything's going to be augmented and kind of digitalized. And it's scary, but it's also going to be a lot of fun, and that's where we're headed, I believe.
That is a super interesting take. A bold one too. I like it.
Yeah. I think it's coming a lot quicker than we thought it would.
Interesting. All right, so curious to hear your perspective. When it comes to brands entering the space, I've seen typically they take one of two routes. These aren't necessarily mutually exclusive, but for purposes of this discussion, let's treat them separately. First, a brand might start an activation from in-house, kind of like Liquid Death has done by dropping your own NFT collection. The second option is the brand partners with existing players in the space, like existing Web3 communities, which I know Liquid Death is also known for being pretty active in the space, for sponsoring a bunch of different events with your products, et cetera. So curious to hear your take on, if a brand is thinking about entering the Web3 space, how do they think about which of these options is better for them to pursue?
Yeah, both models have worked. Nike acquired a company to get into the space. We started from scratch and invested in community. One thing that a brand needs to have is a community, and it's different from social media. So if you want to go ahead and start from scratch, have some Discord moderators, create a space where people can come in and cultivate that way. I think we're in a bear market, and having a collection that people have to pay for is kind of hard. So I would suggest that if a brand wants to come into the space, they probably come with a free mint, get people on board, grow that community, and then have a second or third or whatever you want to do after that.
Cool. Well, I guess a question to wrap up our brief interview on that note of looking so far into the future. If someone is just getting into the space, particularly someone who works at a brand or they're a retailer, what advice would you give them to go about just starting to get into the space?
Yeah, we saw a lot of projects do things, a lot of brands do things the incorrect way. Like Porsche, for instance, they thought they could drop an NFT without really investing in the community and investing in the space. There's something about Web3 where you have to kind of invest in Web3, give something to them, build their trust, rather than just taking from them. It's not that Web2 model is broken and it's not going to work in Web3. So spend time in the spaces, spend time in the Discords, learn the different people within the communities, and also be ahead of the trends. Know what's coming out so you can jump on every opportunity. And last, you're dealing with a lot of millennials and Gen Z and people into tech and gamers. So don't be boring. Have a lot of fun, and the sky's the limit.
Get active in the space, know the trends, don't be boring.
And
You heard
fun.
it here first. Thanks, Shahab,
Thank
for
you very
joining
much
us.
for having me. Thank you.